Welcome back for the final episode 9 of our tuning guide series. I wanna again say thank you guys so much for watching, and I truly hope I helped you. Be sure to leave a comment, let me know if I did help you a little. But today we're talking differentials, and we're going to cover all three today, meaning we'll actually show off 3 different cars today. But let's get into it. Firstly, we'll cover all-wheel drive, because this in my opinion is the hardest to tune for differentials, and we gotta show off the tuning guides R33 Skyline for the last time. So firstly we'll need a race, off-road, rally, or drift differential to tune the differentials. I wanna note that these simply chase the default presets, so picking any one of the adjustable differentials is fine. And firstly we'll be covering the center differential, then we'll cover the 2 differentials, then cover the front wheel drive and rear wheel drive, quickly cover drifting and rally, and explain a few more things. Now then, we're going to start with the center differential. The center differential controls the power split between the front and rear differentials. This means the more rear bias the center differential is, the car will act more like a rear-wheel drive car, and the more front bias the center differential is, the more front-wheel drive the car will feel. So when you start off, I would suggest beginning with a 65% balanced center differential. This creates oversteer because naturally all-wheel drives understeer, but this normally allows the car to spin all 4 tires when you launch. What you really want to look for is the on-throttle response. If you're in the mid-corner and you hit the throttle in an all-wheel drive car, it should not slide out, nor should it start going straight off the corner. It should allow you to get on power super early and accelerate out of the corner.
Arrived at your destination.
Just like that. So I'll show you what it looks like when it doesn't do that and how to fix it.
Arrived at your destination. You have arrived at your destination.
That is way too far to the rear, so we add some front bias to it. I would recommend going by 10%, test, another 10%, test, if that was too much going back 5%, test, and there is your perfect balance for that car. Now the way to front bias looks like this.
Arrived at your destination. You have arrived at your destination.
Now values change per person. Maybe you like the feel of a front-wheel drive but you want the launch of a all-wheel drive, or maybe you're a rear-wheel drive fan but want the launch of a all-wheel drive. Whatever the case, my rule is it should be able to spin all 4 tires off launch. If it can do that, it's a half-decent all-wheel drive tune. Of course, for cars that physically cannot spin all 4 tires due to too much grip or too little power, I have a specific feeling for them. But this is how I tune, and how I think all-wheel drive cars should be. Next we're going to cover the actual differentials that's connected to the axles. So like I said, the front and rear refers to the differentials that is connected to the axles. The point of a differential is to allow each tire to spin at different speeds but also provide some lock, so that when one tire spins the other tire still has power. First let's go over a open and locked or welded differential. This is a open differential in Forza. This means when one tire spins, that tire will receive all the power from the motor and just not move. The advantage of it is really only that when you accelerate out of a corner it might be easier to control, less likely to spin out, but it will also cause you to spin out if one tire is spinning the whole time and you'll accelerate slowly. The percentages refer to the locking rate, meaning 50% acceleration. When you're on throttle the differential will lock 50% quickly and send 50% of the power to each tire. Deceleration means when you're off throttle the differential will lock, slowing the tires down and trying to keep them at the same speed. So when you're braking super hard one tire doesn't lock up because it has force trying to keep it going the same speed. We typically use a low deceleration value because that's all you need. Any more might be a loss of time. But in a all-wheel drive deceleration really isn't that needed. A little for the front and rear, 10% and 25% is probably too much to be honest. So let's look how an open differential drives.
You have arrived at your destination. You have arrived at your destination.
Because it's all-wheel drive that might not look very different, but look what happens when we go over a hill. We're completely stuck, and yes, this is kinda an extreme case, just blame Forza physics, but now look what happens with a fully locked differential doing the same thing. That's the best example I can give about differentials. So for a road racing car, a lower acceleration value would be better, but we don't want an open differential either. I would suggest for the front differential between 20 and 30%, and for the rear differential between 40 and 70%. Now 70% is kinda high, but there is still rotation allowed between the two tires that in theory they should not break traction because of the high value, but also they should be free enough that you can still turn without the tires binding and trying to go at the same rate. Low speed acceleration is what we're looking at for the differentials. A low value front differential will still provide power to the tires, but it's less likely to understeer on throttle from that acceleration, so they might spin, but it should be free enough that it doesn't cause the understeer. So now you notice we still don't have any deceleration. That's because you really don't need it. But if you're off throttle and it oversteers when turning, adding some deceleration to the rear differential will fix that. I'd suggest between 10 and 25%. So now, let's quickly cover two things with all-wheel drive, a Forza cheese, and drift settings. So firstly, in Forza, technically a 100% doesn't mean it's a fully locked diff. I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of people will use this setup here, including myself, for racing, as this means it'll have as much power as it can during acceleration. It won't spin, and because Forza, it won't understeer. Now in this specific Horizon game, I have found in powerful cars they do need less front acceleration because it will understeer. But typically this is the diff everyone uses for racing, 100%, 0%, 100%, 25%, and typically between 55% and 70%. It just works lol. Now the drift settings, this has many different styles, but I'm going to cover an ideal starter drift setup, 30%, 0%, 90%, 25%, and between 65% and 80%. This diff works in almost every car, other than the center diff that needs changed a lot. But the idea here is that your front diff doesn't do much, it still pulls you around but not as hard, and the rear diff is where you get most of your angle and speed from.
Horizon Arcade will begin soon. Good luck.
I forgot this car isn't tuned for reverse drifting lol. Anyways, now we're going to show off rear wheel drive tuning for the differential, so let's get into that. So this car is set up for mostly road, but the same applies, except in this game typically a lower acceleration is better. So for this case of a 587 horsepower car with 265 size tires, I'm using 30% acceleration and 15% deceleration.
Horizon Arcade will begin shortly. Good luck.
Now if we're drifting this, I would suggest 95% acceleration and 75% deceleration, or just 100% 100%. That also is good, but do be sure to play with it. There is a lot of different settings you can do to make it feel the way you want.
Arrived early, but the next Horizon Arcade event will begin shortly. Enjoy!
And for front-wheel drive typically a lower value, I would suggest between 30% and 50% is the best for that. But for this game I don't know if it works still, but people used to run 100% and 0% and it would handle the best. But I don't typically use front-wheel drive unless I'm drifting, so then I just 100% lol, so I don't know. But this is the thing about tuning, try higher or lower values, see what works better. It's all about testing and seeing how the car reacts to different changes and how you feel about them changes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed the series. I truly hope this helped you guys learn tuning and helps you build your own cars. I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to subscribe with post notifications so that you don't miss any further videos. And also while you're down there, be sure to comment any questions, comments or tips and tricks for anyone following the series. Again, if you made it this far in the series, thank you so much for watching. Also be sure to check the link tree to join the Discord, find our Twitch, which is also above my head, as well as our Kick and other social medias. Thank you so much again. Have a wonderful day guys.